50. General knowledge questions and answers for competitive exams like UPSC, Staff Selection Commission, and RRB. Who are the real natives of India? If it was believed at one time that Dravidians were the original inhabitants of India, that view has since been considerably modified. Now, the generally accepted belief is that the pre Dravidian aborigines, that is, the ancestors of the present tribals or Adivasis, that is, scheduled tribes, were the original inhabitants. Who found America? Leif Erikson Day commemorates the Norse explorer believed to have led the first European expedition to North America. Nearly 500 years before the birth of the Christopher Columbus, a band of European sailors left their homeland behind in search of a new world. How many human races are there? 4. The world population can be divided into four major races, namely white, Caucasian, Mongoloid, Asian, Negroid, Black, and Australoid. This is based on a racial classification made by Carleton S. Cohn in 1962. What are the Punjab state boundaries in India? Punjab, state of India, located in the northwestern part of the subcontinent. It is bounded by the Indian states of Jammu and Kashmir to the north, Himachal Pradesh to the northeast, Haryana to the south and southeast, and Rajasthan to the southwest, and by the country of Pakistan to the west. Which is the most densely populated city in India? Delhi. Density of population in India is 382 person per square kilometers. Delhi turns out to be the most densely inhabited, followed by Chandigarh among all states, union territories, both in 2001 and 2011 census. Why are natives called Indians? When he landed in the Antilles, Columbus referred to the resident people he encountered there are Indians, reflecting his purported belief that he had reached the Indian Ocean. The name stuck. For centuries, the native people of the Americas were collectively called Indians in various European languages. Which state language is Sanskrit in India? Under Article 345 of the Constitution, the Uttarakhand Legislative Assembly has passed the proposal to make Hindi the official language and Sanskrit the second official language of Uttarakhand state. How was human born? On the biggest steps in early human evolution, scientists are in agreement. The first human ancestors appeared between 5 million and 7 billion years ago, probably when some ape-like creatures in Africa began to walk habitually on two legs. They were flaking crude stone tools by 2.5 million years ago. Why do we live longer? Overall, when we are comparing between today and the past 200 years, human life expectancy has increased exponentially because of more children survive during childhood and past the age of 5 thanks to vaccination, better nutrition, safer and cleaner living condition, and advanced medical treatments. Who created universe? The Big Bang theory is the prevailing cosmological description of the development of the universe. According to the estimation of this theory, space and time emerged together 13.799 plus or minus 0.021 billion years ago, and the energy and matter initially present have become less dense as the universe expanded. How old is human evolution? Approximately 6 million years. Human evolution is the lengthy process of change by which people originated from ape-like ancestors. Scientific evidence shows that the physical and behavioral traits shared by all people originated from ape-like ancestors and evolved over a period of approximately 6 million years. Who made time? The measurement of time began with the invention of sundials in ancient Egypt sometime prior to 1500 BC. However, the time the Egyptian measured was not the same as the time today's clock measure. For these Egyptians, and indeed for a Further 3 millennia, the basic unit of time was the period of daylight. What is demography? Demography is the study of human populations, their size, compositions, and distribution across space, and the process through which populations change. Births, deaths, and migration are the big three of demography, jointly producing population stability or change. Demographic analysis can cover whole societies or groups defined by criteria such as education, nationality, religion, and ethnicity. How many districts are in India? 718 districts. There are 718 districts in India administered by their respective state or union territory government. District is an endeavor of NIC to provide a one-stop source for all the information about districts at one place on the web. Who are legislators in India? Legislature of the Union, which is called Parliament, consists of the President and two houses known as Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha, and House of the People, Lok Sabha. Each house has to meet within 6 months of its previous sitting. A joint sitting of two houses can be held in certain cases. What is the duration of 0 hour in Lok Sabha? 0 hour. The time immediately following the question hour has come to be known as 0 hour. It starts around 12 noon, hence the name, and members can, with prior notice to the speaker, raise issues of importance during this time. Who is the head of the Prime Minister's Office, India? The Prime Minister's Office, PMO, consists of the immediate staff of the Prime Minister of India as well as multiple levels of support staff reporting to the Prime Minister. The PMO is headed by the Principal Secretary. The Prime Minister's Office, PMO, located in South Block overlooking the grandeur of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Address South Block, Regina Hill, New Delhi 110011. Can you be Prime Minister without being Member of Parliament? A person can only be the Prime Minister or a Minister if they are a Member of Parliament. So, if the Prime Minister or a Minister lost their seat in an election, they would no longer be a Member of Parliament. The Prime Minister is the leader of the government and is chosen by a vote of the members of the government. What is the name of India's first computer? TIFRAC, TIFRAC. The TIFRAC, a first generation mainframe computer developed for scientific computations, was commissioned on February 22, 1960 at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR, Mumbai, making India the first country in Asia and Japan to have built such a machine. Who elects Rajya Sabha members? Rajya Sabha MPs are elected by the Electoral College of the elected members of the State Assembly with a system of proportional representation by a single transferable vote. Why do we need two houses of parliament? In the Indian political ecosystem, the all over political powers are distributed among the two types of government. One, central government and state governments. To efficiently represent the two types of governments in the parliament, there are two different houses which are known as the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Parliament has the right to seek information on any matter. Both the houses need to pass any ordinary law. A bill can become a law only after both the houses pass it. Who has designed the Indian Parliament? Originally called the House of Parliament, it was designed by the British architects Sir Edwin Lutyens and Sir Herbert Baker in 1912 to 1913 as part of their wider mandate to construct a new administrative capital city for British India. Why Rajya Sabha is called Permanent House? Rajya Sabha, Council of States, or the upper house is a permanent body not subject to dissolution. One third of the members retire every second year and are replaced by newly elected members. Its members are indirectly elected by members of legislative bodies of the states. How old is British Parliament building? The current building by the architects Charles Barry and Augustus Pugin was commissioned after a fire in 1834 destroyed most of the old palace of Westminster. By 1870, the construction of the 1,100 room houses of Parliament was complete, but the Grade 1 listed building has required constant maintenance. Does the US have a House of Commons? Washington, D.C., the United States Congress or US Congress is the bicameral legislature of the federal government of the United States and consists of two chambers, the House Representatives and the Senate. Congress has 535 voting members, 435 representatives, and 100 senators. What are the three types of democracy? Consensus democracy, rule based on consensus rather than traditional majority rule. Constitutional democracy, governed by a constitution. And a deliberative democracy in which authentic deliberation, not only voting, is central to the legitimate decision making. What is difference between democracy and republic? Republic, a state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives. Democracy, a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. How did England become so powerful? The more money came into Britain, the more money they could put into in their navy, which then could protect the trade lanes, allowing more trade, which meant more money. This led to a few Anglo-Dutch wars, which eventually led to the British being the main naval power in Europe. What is the role of Queen in UK government? Along with the House of Commons and the House of Lords, the Crown is an integral part of the institution of Parliament. The Queen plays a constitutional role in opening and dissolving Parliament and approving bills before they become law. Why did the colonists hate the British? Historians say the main reason the colonists were angry was because Britain had rejected the idea of no taxation without representation. Almost no colonist wanted to be independent of Britain at that time. Yet, all of them valued their rights as British citizens and the idea of local self rule. Why did American colonists stay loyal to England? For many American colonists, the benefits of membership in the British Empire had offset its costs. Naval protection, access to large free trading area, easy credit, cheap manufacturers, and restricted foreign competition had all contributed to a strong sense of loyalty to Britain and the Crown. Why is there no King of England? There is no king because the queen is not married to a king. As with any title, a royal title serves to identify a royal. Various royals have differing privileges and powers. We currently have a queen because that is the term used for a monarch who is female. Who has more power, president or prime minister in India? The selection of the prime minister is only a formal power of the president, as the president must choose the candidate who can command a majority in the Lok Sabha. However, the president can play a role of increased importance when no one party can command a majority in the parliament. Does the royal family own Buckingham Palace? In total, the Buckingham Palace grounds spans over 39 acres. Despite the palace serving as an important place for the royal family, the Queen doesn't, in fact, privately own the residence. It is instead held in trust by the Crown Estates. What did Abraham Lincoln do for democracy? Lincoln believed that American democracy meant equal rights and equality of opportunity, but he drew a line between basic natural rights such as freedom from slavery and political and civil rights like voting. He believed it was up to the states to decide who should exercise these rights. Which country has the oldest constitution? The Constitution of San Marino is the world's oldest active written constitution, having been established in 1600, while the Constitution of the United States is the oldest active codified constitution, Only half of all sovereign state constitutions around the world have functioned continuously for more than 19 years. Does Britain have a constitution? Unlike most modern states, Britain doesn't have a codified constitution but an unwritten one formed of acts of parliament, court judgments, and conventions. Professor Robert Blackburn explains the system, including Magna Carta's palace within it, and asks whether the UK should now have a written constitution. Why is Senate called the upper house in US? The Senate has 100 members and is the upper house of the United States Congress. It is called the upper house because it has fewer members than the House of Representatives and has powers not granted to the House, such as giving approval to appointments of cabinet secretaries and federal judges. How many elected members are there in the Rajya Sabha, India? The Rajya Sabha should consist of not more than 250 members, 238 members representing the states and union territories, and 12 members nominated by the President. How the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are elected? The members of Parliament Lok Sabha are directly elected by the Indian public voting in single member districts, and the members of Parliament Rajya Sabha are elected by the members of all state legislative assembly by proportional representation. Can a member of Rajya Sabha be a Prime Minister in India? Be a citizen of India, be a member of the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. If the person chosen as the Prime Minister is neither a member of the Lok Sabha nor the Rajya Sabha at the time of selection, they must become a member of either of the houses within 6 months. Can a bill be passed without Rajya Sabha? If the Lok Sabha doesn't accept any of the recommendations of Rajya Sabha, the money bill is deemed to have been passed by both houses in the form in which it was passed by Lok Sabha without any of the amendments recommended by the Rajya Sabha. What is the maximum number of seats in Rajya Sabha? The Rajya Sabha should consist of not more than 250 members, 238 members representing the states and union territories, and 12 members nominated by the President. How many MLAs seats are there in India? As per Article 158 of the Indian Constitution, the Legislative Assembly consists of not more than 500 members and not fewer than 60. The biggest state, Uttar Pradesh, has 404 members in its assembly. What does ex officio mean in English? The term ex officio is a common Latin phrase which, when literally translated, means from the office. It should not be used to describe a type of membership in an organization, but rather than obligation or privilege a person has by virtue of their position to serve on a board or committee. Why is Mars red in color? The simple explanation for the red planet's color is that its regolith, or surface material, contains lots of iron oxide, the same compound that gives blood and rust their hue. But why does Mars have so much iron? Why is that iron oxidized? And why does iron oxide look red? It all started 4.5 billion years ago. Which is the only planet having life? Though other bodies in our solar system, such as Saturn's moon Titan, seem like they could have once been hospitable to some form of life, and scientists still have hope of eventually digging up microbes beneath the surface of Mars, Earth is still the only world known to support life. Why is Venus called Earth's sister? Venus is a terrestrial planet and is sometimes called Earth's sister planet because of their similar size, mass, proximity to the Sun, and bulk composition. It is radically different from Earth in other respects. What is the oldest language on Earth? It is Tamil language. The Tamil language is recognized as the oldest language in the world, and it is the oldest language of the Dravidian family. This language had a presence even around 5,000 years ago. According to a survey, 1863 newspapers are published in the Tamil language only every day. What is the oldest city in the world? Damascus. Damascus is widely believed to be the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with evidence of habitation dating back to at least 11,000 years. Its location and persistence have made the city a nexus for civilizations come and gone. Who deciphered Indus script? Asco Parpola. Generally recognized as the world's expert on the Indus script, Asko Parpola has been studying this undeciphered writing for over 40 years at the University of Helsinki in Finland. He is the co-editor of the collections of all seals and inscriptions in India and Pakistan, which is old dynasty in India. It is Mauryan dynasty, Mauryan Empire. The Maurya Empire 320 to 185 BC was the first major historical Indian empire and definitely the largest one created by an Indian dynasty. The empire arose as a consequence of state consolidation in northern India, which led to one state Magadha in today's Bihar dominating the Ganges plain.